Okay, let me share my screen with you guys. Okay, awesome. All right, can y'all see my screen? And still see me, kind of? Okay, cool. All right, so this is the struggle web, and if you've done the Team TNT training and you guys have walked through that, you will see that there is a call in the training that Ashley does that is, why can't I think of her last name right now? Oh my goodness, I can't think of her name right now. Why can't I think of her last name? Holly's Success Club partner. Not Ashley Smith, Ashley Lachlan. There we go. She is the host of the call, and she talks a little bit about branding and about the struggle web. And I don't know if she created the struggle web, but basically this is what it is. And I just recreated the image itself for you guys. And I kind of broke it down into 3 different areas of my life. So there's like my personal family life, regards to like how I grew up and stuff like that. And then professional and education, and then health and fitness. So you can break it up however you want to do, but basically in each one of these categories, you, I'm mute, Kayla. It basically in all these 3 categories, you're gonna want like you want positive things and you want negative things. So if you could do maybe like 3 positive, 3 negative, I think that would be great. But the whole idea of this exercise is for you to dig really deep. Okay, so we can talk surface level all freaking day. And, right now, a lot of us are talking to our warm market. But when you start to want to gain trust of your cold market, and you should be building that trust right now as you're like still talking to your warm market, it really comes down to being able to connect with them on a more deeper level than just something surface. Like more often than not, if you talk to any of the top coaches, a lot of them have forms and stuff, and they'll say like, how did you find me? Or like, why do you want to get started on, blah, 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 or why do you want to join me in coaching? Like literally none of them are going to be like, oh, because I was like really dying to like do at-home workout programs. And you popped up on my thing, right? It's probably like, hey, you put a post up about your transformation and about being confident in a photo with your daughter, or oh my gosh, you posted something about having something that was for you outside of being a mom and a wife, and I totally related to that story, and it drew me over, or something like that. And so this basically helps us dig deeper on all of those levels. So I'm going to share with you guys what I filled in on my struggle web, and just to give you guys like an idea of like brainstorming. And it's a really good thing to actually do with like a significant other, or if you guys have like a success partner that you can pair up with and kind of interview each other. This is where you can shine and really dig deep. All right, so this is my struggle web, and I'm going to kind of expand on it a little bit just so you guys will understand what I've put inside these bubbles, but it gives me idea for topics when I'm thinking about posts. So Ashley Lachlan talks about this in the training. She says, she's like, sometimes if I need a post and I need some inspiration for something and I don't know like what I should talk about, I'll pull up my struggle web. She's like, and I'll be like, oh, I haven't talked about this in like a few weeks, or I haven't talked about this in a few months. I can talk about that. And just gives you inspiration and stuff as you guys are searching for posts. Because sometimes it can get repetitive, right? All right, so personal and family. So this is going to get deep, y'all. I hope you're ready. This is not like surface level foo-foo stuff. So let's talk about this. Money struggles and fear of repeating history. So growing up, my parents were first generation, right, coming over to the US. And so there were limited options for them. They didn't have education, they didn't speak English. And I have this fear of like recreating that financial struggle that they went through. They kind of instilled in me this mindset of like, you are only capable of so much, or you can only, these are the only choices you have in life to be successful, to be a doctor, to be a lawyer, or to be an engineer, something like that. Like literally, there was nothing outside of that that could make you successful. And so that kind of leads me to my next bubble. It says being able to be successful and not have that corporate job. A lot of it is like proving to my family that I can do this, that you can have an unconventional way and still be successful, right? Everybody defines success differently. So that's one of my pain points that I like talking about, that it's non-traditional, that, you know, and I'll dig into that later when it comes to education. Personal family. So being a contributor in my family and easing that stress. So I was a stay-at-home mom before, you know, I ever decided to coach or even start this journey, right? And so my husband, obviously, his business provides, you know, for our family needs financially. But for me, for somebody that has always been, sorry, y'all, I'm like burning up in a Sherpa. For me, who's someone who's always been like independent, I worked all through high school, I worked through college. You know, it's hard kind of to basically, it's a hard pill for me to swallow to be like dependent on somebody. Yeah, it's our money. Yeah, it's our family, but I independently feel like I want to contribute. Like I want to accomplish more things as a family. So it's like I want to bring in extra income if that's going to help us, you know, accomplish different things. You know, the fact that we do have big financial goals, the fact that we do want to travel more. So you guys are kind of getting the idea, right? Digging really deep into your why. And so hopefully this is spurring some things for you guys. You know, and if I really think about personal and family, I dig deep into the fact that like provisions and, you know, past histories and growing up as an older sibling, or, you know, there's a million things you guys can talk about. Okay. People will talk about family losses. Lindsay Matley talks about losing her brother, or not her parents to, you know, drug and alcohol addictions, and, you know, just different things like that. Bonnie talks about struggling, and, you know, think about Danielle Natoni. She talks about how she, you know, back in the day, people would kind of hold little meetings at their house to gain interest, right? She said she would like literally park her car so far down the street so people didn't see her car because it was so broken down. And she talks about how, like, you know, that'll strike pain points with people, and they'll relate, because oftentimes they'll look at her and be like, oh, you are a multimillionaire, you've done Beachbody for 10 years, you're like the face of Beachbody, you know. But she's like, that's not where I started, and I have to remind people of that if they can see themselves in my shoes, because everybody has a day one. And so oftentimes, I was watching the Training with Ashley Malstead that I posted on our team page today. And she talks about building your brand. And often when we get started as coaches, we feel like all of a sudden, like that's all we are. And we forget that there's so much more to us, right? I mean, like we showed up on social media before we started coaching, but what were those things? Like, what did we talk about? If there was no fitness in our life, what did we talk about? And so this really helps us discover that a little bit more. Okay, health and fitness. So for me, very self-conscious about my thighs and my stomach. I have always been all my life. When I was dancing and cheering, I hated being in a sports ball. Now I only work out in a sports ball. Like that's huge. It's a huge hurdle for me. Love chocolate and salty things. I was a past yo-yo dieter. I was the Monday starter. I'm going to start over. I was the 100-calorie pack lean cuisine girl. I grew up on that. Like I literally, my mom would buy those lean cuisine, like steamable things where you throw in the microwave, right? And they're like kind of healthy, and it's like broccoli from God knows how long ago, and you like throw it in the microwave and you ate it, and it was like, oh, I'm like kind of being healthy, right? And that carried over into like me in college, thinking that that was healthy. So my idea of nutrition has changed. I am really bad about, I used to always use food as a reward. I'm an emotional eater. When I'm stressed, I eat, and that's super common, right? We used to always be active before I was a mom. So the fact that it took me 2 years to actually get started on my health and fitness after having Jaden is huge. Like for somebody that was always in the gym or always dancing or always, you know, in the gym for something, that it was a huge change. I never really had to watch what I ate. Like I literally had, it was insane. Like in high school, I ate everything. Like I could eat Chick-fil-A every day and like nothing would happen. Like, and your body changes as you grow older. And so it's something different. And I would justify the calories with exercise. Number on the scale was something huge for me. And it's still something that I fight daily. Like I have this idea that for me and my body, that 115 pounds is like where I need to be. It's not realistic. Like I am very muscular. I am not a, you know, thin pencil type girl. I have a lot of muscle mass. It's not realistic. Like the fact that I do weigh myself every day now because, well, for Transform 20 on the journal, I was weighing myself every day. To be Mindset asked you to weigh yourself every day. It has changed. And now I know, like, you know, if I have one bad day of eating, this is how it affects them. But it's okay because I clean up my diet a little bit and I see it reflect on the scale. And that's okay. And not being at a certain number is okay for me. And that's something that I fight daily. So, you know, I talk a lot in my posts about victories outside of that number because that number really doesn't define how much endurance I've gained, how much strength I've gained, how much better I feel in my own skin, in my photos, that I take care of myself. You know, so these are topics that I dig deep outside of just like, hey, I pressed play on my workout today, right? How you can scroll social media all day and find sweaty selfies, but it's getting people. First of all, that's why we stress, you know, the whole scroll stopping photo type thing, so they'll actually read your post, but that's another story. So, but you know, when you want to write something, you want to write something that's going to draw them in, that's going to mean something other than just, hey, I pressed play on my 578th workout today, and they're like, oh great, cool. Okay, professional and educational. So desiring success through a non-traditional route. I always, you know, kind of envy those that could work from home and like make an income and like live their life and go vacation whenever and like in the middle of the day go grab lunch, right? Like I remember being at my corporate job, I was pregnant. Roland would drive by and he'd be like, hey, you want to go grab lunch? And I'm like, what are you doing with your day? Like you're just like out in the middle of the day, like doing whatever you want to do. Like it would literally piss me off because I would be inside the cubicle and like looking outside and it's sunny out and I'm annoyed that I'm sitting here getting paid pennies and like it, like no matter how hard I worked, it didn't matter. I wasn't going to make more money. So I was like, this is stupid. Like he was always like, you know, if you want to make more money, go make more money. I'm like, how do I do that? Like that makes zero sense to me. Like I can't just go make more money. Like what I make is my salary. Like that's how much money I make, right? And so I really, really, really desired that. But I didn't have any skills. Like I wasn't going to go knit something and sell it. I wasn't crazy. Like I couldn't make music like he makes music. I can't, you know, like I didn't have any skills. Like what am I good at, right? Like, and he was like, you have to be good at something. Like something, right? And so anyways, that's how coaching fell into my lap. So these are things that I think about, right? I'm like, I gotta dig deep. I gotta dig deeper. So sometimes when I feel like my posts are getting really superficial, I come back to this and I talk, I write stories because that's what pulls people in. It's the story behind your post. It's the story behind why finishing Transform 20 was so significant to you, right? It's the story behind, for the first time in your life, you have been so dang consistent and you are proud of yourself for that. And why though? Why are you proud of yourself that you're so dang consistent? What was the past like? What did you do? You know, like what did you not do? What do you do better now and understand? So degrees and career are destined for a different path. I went to undergrad 4 years, got a piece of paper, a really expensive piece of paper that I don't use, right? And then I went on because I wanted to go to med school. I was like, oh, I'll go to grad school. Went to a 1-year grad program, collected another expensive piece of paper. And, you know, I always thought I would be a doctor. Like that was the plan. But if it weren't for me not going to med school, if it weren't for me meeting my husband, if it weren't for us getting married, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. I wouldn't have a kid. I would probably be in a different state somewhere in residency still. Like my life would be totally different, but my history doesn't define where I am today now. And so, you know, that's why I think a lot of like the little biological stuff, all the research stuff, all the ingredient stuff in our products, all those little things like really intrigue me because of my science background. So that's something I know I could talk more about when it comes to Shakeology and why I like it. You know what? That's something I don't talk about because I try and really stay away from products, but I know I can talk about it more in a creative way, right? In a little, because we want to set ourselves apart. That's the whole point of the struggle web. Every single one of us has a different story, right? But there are 400,000 Beachbody coaches out there. Like they can literally go buy every single product that you and I sell online. I've heard so many stories of people like, oh, I got it from somebody, but I was nervous. I didn't want to buy a challenge pack. I just wanted the workouts. So I went online and I bought the workouts. Now I have no coach. I can't get into any group. Like, I've heard so many people say that, because they have the ability to do that. So it's like, you have to figure out what sets you apart, and makes them want to sign up with you, because you're selling your story and not the products you're selling behind the scenes. Does that make sense, guys? Does this kind of help? Okay. I do have a crazy amount of student loans, and that's why I want to hustle even harder. But yeah, that's basically it, y'all. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. I dropped the blank PDF in our Google Drive, so you guys can hop in there, look at that. I think I had some other announcements, but I can't remember what I was going to say. Oh, okay, I do remember. Before you ask me questions and we talk about the Struggle Web a little bit more, I wanted to mention this. So if you were thinking about getting Ultimate Portion Fix with the certification base kit coming up in a few days, and your Shakeology does not ship before then, and you can move it, right? Your Shakeology can ship at any time within that 1 month. This is what I would suggest, but make sure you actually do it. You can cancel your Shakeology before the March shipment goes out and buy the Ultimate Portion Fix with Shakeology for coaches only with the certification, and it will be cheaper that way than buying the base kit of Ultimate Portion Fix plus your Shakeology on top of that. Does that make sense? Are you guys catching on? Maybe yes, no. Okay, so you have a question? Kimberly, you have a question? Oh, hold on, let me unmute you.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
If you do it that way, the Shakeology will go monthly HD from the Ultimate Portion Fix. So cancel it altogether, don't skip.
Yeah. So
okay.
You'll cancel your existing Shakeology order, and then you'll order the Ultimate Portion Fix with Shakeology. And that gets you, your Shakeology will be back on HD basically, and it'll follow that date and on. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So let me share. So basically, where are my graphic things? Oh my gosh, why is it so big? So, nope, that's what I want. All right, so, oh crap, I'm not sharing the right thing, y'all. I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. Okay, so basically, rather than paying the $140 plus $100, so $240, you'll save the $40 and just buy this pack. And this is only if you're going to get Ultimate Portion Fix. Like, if you're not going to do it, then, leave your Shakeology order as is. But if you are going to get it and you're going to get the certification, I would suggest this route so that you can save some money, because you're going to have your Shakeology no matter what. So that's what I'm going to do. I've canceled my Shakeology order that's going to ship in March, and make sure this goes through on the 4th. Okay, I'll share my screen. Okay, okay, you guys can unmute yourself. Any questions about what we went through? And this kind of piggybacks on the color wheel. Have you guys done the color wheel? No, Kayla hasn't. Yes. Kaylee, yes. Okay, so it kind of piggybacks on that, just like, discovering kind of who you are more. I really suggest, if you guys haven't listened to that training by Ashley Molstad, to do that, because it was a really good call. It's pretty short. It's not super long, but she does a great job of talking about like business versus branding. And you guys, if you guys follow her on social media, she is as blunt as it gets. And so I absolutely love the training call, because she lays it out and tells you exactly how it is. And from somebody that's, been in the business for super long and top of the company right now, I think it's worth the listen to if you guys have the time. Okay, ask me questions. Your turn. No questions? No questions for me? Okay, yeah. Anything on, let me think, and let me stop recording.